So saying this, ladies and gentlemen, Suresh Pandey asked me to talk on posterior polar cataracts. So I thought we'll talk a little bit on posterior polars and see how it goes from here. If you have any doubts, you can always ask me. Now look at this. First thing is always ask, this audio is coming from the next room?
Yes, yes.
So you can see here, when you start posterior polar, don't make a large rhexis. Second step, watch, I've injected viscoelastic under the rhexis. Okay? Why? Because I don't want to create an accidental hydrodissection. So it just created a pocket of viscoelastic. Next step, go in with the hydrodelineation. Watch my cannula. It is oblique. It is not parallel to the rhexis margin. So by this I will create an hydrodelineation, not a hydrodissection. So far so good. Now when you go in with the phaco, lollipop it out. Just lollipop it. Don't try to rotate that nucleus. Once you have done that, go in and attack that epinucleus, and you can see I'm removing that epinucleus slowly. And when you come to the subincisional area, please stop, shift to IA, and remove that with IA. So you can see now the remaining subincisional epinucleus might take a bit longer, but do it with IA and you'll be much better off. So here you can see the last portions of the epinucleus coming off. Once that's done, remaining cortex can be coming off easily. Do not try to polish, okay, because you do not know how thin that capsule is. And when you implant an IOL, please implant it horizontally, not vertically, because when you implant vertically, even that slight pressure on the posterior capsule can produce a rent. So far so good. This is the Mills and Moon portion. I don't think you're coming to listen to my Mills and Moon portions. So let's see the Frankenstein portions of the posterior polar. Patient was a VIP, flew 3 hours to have surgery by me, and I told him, fantastic, posterior polar, no problem, we will make you all right. So I removed that endonucleus. I went in to remove the epinucleus. So I go inside and you can see the epinucleus coming out. So far so good. Now at this stage, I've got a very bad habit of being lazy. So now, what I did was, I removed this epinucleus. Now watch, I should have stopped, shifted, but no. I'm doing the subincisional with phacoprobe. And boom. I show this to you in slow motion, and you can see horrible surgeon I am. And you can see there, terrible. I am not only a lazy surgeon, I am a bad surgeon, but the most important is I am a dumb surgeon. Because this is absolutely being dumb. I would have taken 2 seconds to shift my hand from a phaco probe to an IA probe. But what did I do? I messed up a VIP patient who had flown 3 hours for me, and I thought I'll give him a great job, and in the end I've created a PC rupture for no reason. You know, you don't mind if there's a reason. This is pure laziness. So I go back with my vitrectomy probe. I'm now using in my left hand a cannula for fluid, but nowadays I've started this trocar AC maintainer, which I'll be talking to you on some other time perhaps, in which we are using nowadays the trocar AC maintainers for fixing fluid in the eye. But once you have got that fixed, you can fix any lens of your choice. Now let's take another case of posterior polar. I go in, I do my rhexis. So far so good. It's not a large rhexis as you can see. Now watch my cannula in this case. Look at it. It is parallel to the rhexis. And I told you in the beginning it should be oblique. Then you'll get a hydrodelineation. Now look, I've created an accidental hydrodissection. And also I did not put the pocket of viscoelastic all around. Come inside everybody. There's space here, yaar. Take off some of those bag of mine also. Come here. There's another chair here. There's a chair next to Ritika also. Come here. You can just put that bag down of mine. I'm sorry I put it on thing. I didn't swear. Yes, yeah, just keep it down. That's enough. There's some space here in the front here if you want. Okay, so now you see what's happening here is my PCR is increasing and increasing and increasing. And my heart is sinking and sinking and sinking. So now I go back to my same vitrectomy probe technique, and I have to do again vitrectomy and again clear up all this mess which I have created, and then get any lens implanted inside that eye of your choice. So another mistake which I did here was to create an accidental or mistakenly hydrodissection, which I should not have done. Now let's look at this case here. Okay, this was another VIP patient came to me. Okay, I'm trying to remove that nucleus, and so far so good. I've removed that endonucleus. Now watch carefully. At this stage, I'm trying to remove the epinucleus. Again, you can see stupid mistake. Again, I was trying to make the same stupid mistake of subincisional epinucleus being removed. Luckily, nothing happened. But again, you see how laziness works here. Watch my left hand now. I could have waited, but see what I'm doing. I'm rotating the epinucleus. Watch. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a torque. The posterior polar is stuck on the capsule. So if you rotate, it's like torque. It will rip. And see now what's happened. I rotated that epinucleus just to save time. And now I go in and try to remove my epinucleus, and you see there was no rent before. The rent has happened now. And you can see there a huge rent has happened. Again, I'm back to square one of clearing up all that cortex and then fixing a lens in the eye. So you can see here another case of posterior polar which has been just messed up for no reason. I could have just waited for some time to fix that inside. Now, once I have done this, let me show you the next clipping which I wanted to show you here just now. And look at this case. Another important patient. I just go in, take off the nucleus. Now watch carefully here. I remove the nucleus. Watch how fast I pulled out. You see, the moment I pulled out so fast, the chamber has shallowed. The moment chamber shallowed, I had no rent till the nucleus was out. Okay, I just go in for cortical aspiration, and you see what's happening now is my epinucleus and all are going down. Look at that rent. So in other words, when you pull out, please don't pull out so fast. Do it slowly. Inject some viscoelastic from the side port if you want before you pull out, so that you don't have a collapse suddenly. So now what do I have? I have a whole chunk inside. So what I'm going to do now is, at that time we had not started the scaffold technique. Otherwise, in these type of cases, today I would use the scaffold. So I'm going to put an intraocular lens first into the eye here. So you can see it's a 3-piece IOL. And again, since the scaffold had not come out at that time, I did not have that technique in my hand here. I think glued IOL had also not come out at this time when I was doing this case. But here I'm putting it into the sulcus. Today I would not be struggling like this to put lens in the sulcus. I would straight away glue it inside. But once I've done this here, my case is not completed. I still have to go in and clear my posterior chamber properly. So I'm using a chandelier light. That's a chandelier illumination. So it gives light plus fluid in the eye. And you can see I've got fluid in the eye. Now I go through the pars plana and I'm going to clear up all this cortex which is there. But remember, there's an epinucleus behind also. So I've got to knock off that also. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear off all this place. Once I have done this, I will go inside and see what is inside that eye. And you can see the epinucleus, stupid fellow, goes and sits right on the macula of all places. Obviously, he'll sit in the place to trouble me the most. So I go inside with my vitrectomy, clear up the vitrectomy, a technique I started using called SPAL. You can see on aspiration, I'm just knocking off this epinucleus since it's just epinucleus. Now let's see how the case looks at the end. And this is how the case looks at the end of surgery. Looks pretty good. Nothing great which I did. I did everything wrong. But the person on the top helps us every time. Look at this case. Bad posterior polar. At this time, I was doing phaconet. You know, I am stupid. I could have decently done an SICS or an ECC or got out of it. But I said, no, I will do phaconet. 700 micron cataract surgery. So I started it. And now look carefully what I'm doing. The pupil has become smaller. Now at this stage, I just go in and press the foot pedal. And you can see what's happened here is a small opening I've created. Smallest PCR, 700 micron PCR. Now what is happening is, I really am stupid, I'm telling you. You know, now watch. Now that nucleus is going further down. Now this is not epinucleus, okay? There's a nucleus also with it. So now it's going further down, down and down. Now I'm trying to still remove it. Still trying. How can it come? It won't come. Okay? Obviously it will not come. You don't have to be Albert Einstein in it. There's no rocket science to understand it's going down. I'm still trying. See? Still trying. I don't know how many times I'll try till I create a giant retinal tear. Okay? Now I say, okay, Baba, enough, Baba. Let us stop. So I shift to vitrectomy probe now. So I now take up my vitrectomy probe, and then I now have back my old technique. I have to fix my lens inside. Scaffold had not started at that time, neither had glued IOL come in at that time. So I decided to put my lens into the sulcus, but now my case is not over. So I go back to my chandelier illumination and do my pars plana vitrectomy. And you see the advantage of chandelier illumination is this. I'm doing a vitrectomy. Once I've cleared up the whole thing, look at the panoramic view you get with the chandelier light. When I have a chandelier light there, you can see the panoramic view present. I lift it with the phaco thing, the technique called SPAL, sleeveless phaco tip assisted levitation, bring it up, and now you can just aspirate this thing because it's very soft cataract, and you check the peripheral retina. Have you created a break? Check on it once again. See everything. I'm checking everything. Disc, macula, bang on track. Everything looks okay. Now let's see how the patient looks at the end. And you can see the case. 1 month post-op, patient came back to 20/20 vision. Again, nothing great which I did. Everything wrong which I did. Just the person on the top who helps us. The last clipping, just few minutes to show you, is a case which I thought I need to show you so that you'll see it. A case of posterior polar again here. But very important here is, I'll make it a bit faster here just to show you the portion which is crucial. I've removed the nucleus here. Once I have removed the nucleus, I realize I have a rent. So when I go in for my epinucleus, look at that. Epinucleus has started to sink. Now the moment it starts sinking, this is the technique which I would advise people. If you have a fragment inside or an epinucleus inside, the next case is to always fix fluid in the eye. So once you have fluid in the eye, you'll be much safer and much better. So you can see now, I used it this time an AC maintainer. Today we use a trocar AC maintainer. And you can see here an AC maintainer there. Now I'm going to just bring this epinucleus anteriorly above the iris. And you can see once it's above the iris, the next step is I'll be implanting an IOL under the epinucleus but above the iris. So you can see there, once that is done, this IOL now is going to work like a scaffold, and now I can go into the phaco probe and emulsify these fragments with the phacoemulsification without the fear of the epinucleus going down. So far so good. My epinucleus is out, but remember, I do not know how much rhexis I have. At this stage, dilate the pupil. So you see, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use iris hooks, dilate the pupil, and once I have dilated the pupil, I can check any peripheral cortex is there and tuck the lens into the sulcus because I have sulcus support. I don't need to make it a glued IOL. And you can see the same lens, I'm just dialing it into the sulcus. So by dilating the pupil, I can see where my rhexis is and cover it up, finish up the case, and now let's see how this patient looks at the end of surgery. You can see I've taken off the trocar cannula, I'm taking off my AC maintainer, and this is how the patient looks at the end of surgery, and you can see completes this presentation. So I'd like to thank Suresh Pandey and Vidushi both for inviting me here for this lovely course. Thank you very much.